Responses of memory. Some say the universe was created. Others say that it always existed and is forever undergoing transformation. Some say it is subject to eternal laws. Others deny even causality. Some say the world is real, others that it has no being whatsoever. Which world are you inquiring about? The world of my perceptions, of course. The world you can perceive is a very small world indeed, and it is entirely private. Take it to be a dream and be done with it. How can I take it to be a dream? A dream does not last. How long will your own world last? After all, my little world is but a part of the total. Is not the idea of a total world a part of your personal world? The universe does not come to tell you that you are a part of it. It is you who have invented a totality to contain you as a part. In fact, all you know is your own private world, however well you have furnished it with your imaginations and expectations. Surely perception is not imagination. What else? Perception is recognition, is it not? Something entirely unfamiliar can be sensed, but cannot be perceived. Perception involves memory. Granted, but memory does not make it illusion. Perception, imagination, expectation, anticipation, illusion, all are based on memory. There are hardly any borderlines between them. They just merge into each other. All are responses of memory. Still, memory is there to prove the reality of my world. How much do you remember? Try to write down from memory what you were thinking, saying, and doing on the 30th of the last month. Yes, there is a blank. It is not so bad. You do remember a lot. Unconscious memory makes the world in which you live so familiar. Admitted that the world in which I live is subjective and partial. What about you, and what kind of world do you live? My world is just like yours. I see, I hear, I feel, I think. I speak and act in a world I perceive just like you. But with you it is all. With me it is nothing. Knowing the world to be a part of myself, I pay it no more attention than you pay to the food you have eaten. While being prepared and eaten, the food is separate from you and your mind is on it. When swallowed, you become totally unconscious of it. I have eaten up the world and I need not think of it any more. Don't you become completely irresponsible? How could I? How can I hurt something which is one with me? On the contrary, without thinking of the world, whatever I do will be of benefit to it. Just as the body sets itself right unconsciously, so am I, ceaselessly active in setting the world right. Nevertheless, you are aware of the immense suffering of the world. Of course I am, much more than you are. Then what do? I look at it through the eyes of God and find that all is well. How can you say that all is well? Look at the wars, the exploitation, the cruel strife between the citizen and the state. All these sufferings are man-made, and it is within man's power to put an end to them. God helps by facing man with the results of his actions and demanding that the balance should be restored. Karma is the law that works for righteousness. It is the healing hand of God. Witnessing. I am full of desires and I want them fulfilled. How am I to get what I want? Do you deserve what you desire? In some way or other, you have to work for the fulfillment of your desires. Put in energy and wait for the results. Where am I to get the energy? Desire itself is energy. Then why does not every desire get fulfilled? Maybe it is not strong enough and lasting. Yes, that is my problem. I want things, but I am lazy when it comes to action. When your desire is not clear nor strong, it cannot take shape. Besides, if your desires are personal, for your own enjoyment, the energy you give them is necessarily limited. It cannot be more than what you have. Yet often ordinary persons do attain what they desire. after desiring it very much and for a long time. Even then, their achievements are limited. And what about unselfish desires? When you desire the common good, the whole world desires with you. Make humanity's desire your own and work for it. There you cannot fail. Humanity is God's work, not mine. I am concerned with myself. Have I not the right to see my legitimate desires fulfilled? They will hurt no one. My desires are legitimate. They are right desires. Why don't they come true? Desires are right or wrong according to circumstances. It depends on how you look at them. It is only for the individual that a distinction between right and wrong is valid. What are the guidelines for such distinction? How am I to know which of my desires are right and which are wrong? In your case, desires that lead to sorrow are wrong, and those which lead to happiness are right. But you must not forget others. Their sorrow and happiness also count. Results are in the future. How can I know what they will be? Use your mind, remember, observe. You are not different from others. Most of their experiences are valid for you too. Think clearly and deeply. Go into the entire structure of your desires and their ramifications. They are a most important part of your mental and emotional makeup and powerfully affect your actions. Remember, you cannot abandon what you do not know. To go beyond yourself, you must know yourself. What does it mean to know myself? By knowing myself, what exactly do I come to know? All that you are not. And not what I am? What you are, you already are. By knowing what you are not, you are free of it and remain in your own natural state. It all happens quite spontaneously and effortlessly. And what do I discover? You discover that there is nothing to discover. You are what you are, and that is all. I do not understand. It is your fixed idea that you must be something or other that blinds you. How can I get rid of this idea? If you trust me, believe when I tell you that you are the pure awareness that illuminates consciousness and its infinite content. Realize this and live accordingly. If you do not believe me, then go within inquiring, what am I? Or focus your mind on I am, which is pure and simple being. On what my faith in you depends? On your insight into other people's hearts. If you cannot look into my heart, look into your own. I can do neither. Purify yourself by a well-ordered and useful life. Watch over your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. This will clear your vision. Must I not renounce everything first and live a homeless life? You cannot renounce. You may leave your home and give trouble to your family, but attachments are in the mind, and will not leave you until you know your mind in and out. First thing first, know yourself. All else will come with it. But you already told me that I am the supreme reality. Is it not self-knowledge? Of course you are the supreme reality, but what of it? Every grain of sand is God. To know it is important, but that is only the beginning. Well, you told me that I am the supreme reality. I believe you. What is there next for me to do? I told you already. Discover all you are not. Body, feelings, thoughts, ideas, time, space, being and not being, this or that. Nothing concrete or abstract you can point out to is you. A mere verbal statement will not do. You may repeat a formula endlessly without any result whatsoever. You must watch yourself continuously, particularly your mind, moment by moment, missing nothing. This witnessing is essential for the separation of the self from the not-self. The witnessing, is it not my real nature? For witnessing, there must be something else to witness. We are still in duality. What about witnessing the witness, awareness of awareness? Putting words together will not take you far. Go within and discover what you are not. Nothing else matters. Awareness and consciousness. What do you do when asleep? I am aware of being asleep. Is not sleep a state of unconsciousness? Yes, I am aware of being unconscious. And when awake or dreaming, I am aware of being awake or dreaming. I do not catch you. What exactly do you mean? Let me make my terms clear. By being asleep, I mean unconscious. By being awake, I mean conscious. By dreaming, I mean conscious of one's mind, but not of the surroundings. Well, it is about the same with me, yet there seems to be a difference. In each state, you forget the other two, while to me there is but one state of being, including and transcending the three mental states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping. Do you see in the world a direction and a purpose? The world is but a reflection of my imagination. Whatever I want to see, I can see. But why should I invent patterns of creation, evolution, and destruction? I do not need them, and have no desire to lock up the world in a mental picture. Coming back to sleep, do you dream? Of course. What are your dreams? Echoes of the waking state. And your deep sleep? The brain consciousness is suspended. Are you then unconscious? Unconscious of my surroundings, yes. Not quite unconscious? I remain aware that I am unconscious. You use the words aware and conscious. Are they not the same? Awareness is primordial. It is the original state, beginningless, endless, uncaused, unsupported, without parts, without change. Consciousness is uncontact, a reflection against a surface, a state of duality. There can be no consciousness without awareness, but there can be awareness without consciousness, as in deep sleep. Awareness is absolute. Consciousness is relative to its content. Consciousness is always of something. Consciousness is partial and changeful. Awareness is total, changeless, calm, and silent, and it is the common matrix of every experience. How does one go beyond consciousness into awareness? Since it is awareness that makes consciousness possible, there is awareness in every state of consciousness. Therefore, the very consciousness of being conscious is already a movement in awareness. Interest in your stream of consciousness takes you to awareness. It is not a new state. It is at once recognized as the original, basic existence, which is life itself, and also love and joy. Since reality is all the time with us, what does self-realization consist of? Realization is but the opposite of ignorance. To take the world as real and oneself as unreal is ignorance, the cause of sorrow. To know the self is the only reality, and all else is temporal and transient, is freedom, peace, and joy. It is all very simple. Instead of seeing things as imagined, learn to see them as they are. It is like cleansing a mirror. The same mirror that shows you the world as it is will also show you your own face. The thought I am is the polishing cloth. The person is not reality. Kindly tell us how you realized. I met my guru when I was 34 and realized by 37. What happened? What was the change? Pleasure and pain lost their sway over me. I was free from desire and fear. I found myself full, needing nothing. I saw that in the ocean of pure awareness, on the surface of the universal consciousness, the numberless waves of the phenomenal worlds arise and subside beginninglessly and endlessly. As consciousness, they're all me. As events, they're all mine. There is a mysterious power that looks after them. That power is awareness, self, life, God, whatever name you give it. It is the foundation, the ultimate support of all that is. Just like gold is the basis for all gold jewelry. and it is so intimately ours. Abstract the name and shape from the jewelry, and the gold becomes obvious. Be free of name and form, and of desires and fears they create. Then what remains? Nothingness? Yes, the void remains, but the void is full to the brim. It is the eternal potential as consciousness is the eternal actual. By potential you mean the future? Past, present, and future. They're all there, and infinitely more. But since the void is void, is it of little use to us? How can you say so? Without breach and continuity, how can there be rebirth? Can there be renewal without death? Even the darkness of sleep is refreshing and rejuvenating. Without death, we would have been bogged up forever in eternal senility. Is there no such thing as immortality? When life and death are seen as essential to each other, as two aspects of one being, that is immortality. To see the end in the beginning and beginning in the end is the intimation of eternity. Definitely, immortality is not continuity. Only the process of change continues. Nothing lasts. Awareness lasts. Awareness is not of time. Time exists in consciousness only. Beyond consciousness, where are time and space? Within the field of your consciousness, there is your body also. Of course, but the idea of my body as different from other bodies is not there. To me, it is a body, not my body. A mind, not my mind. The mind looks after the body, all right. I need not interfere. What needs be done is being done in the normal and natural way. You may not be quite conscious of your physiological functions, but when it comes to thoughts and feelings, desires and fears, you become acutely self-conscious. To me, these two are largely unconscious. I find myself talking to people or doing things quite correctly and appropriately without being very much conscious of them. It looks as if I live my physical waking life automatically, reacting spontaneously and accurately. Does this spontaneous response come as a result of realization or by training? Both. Devotion to your goal makes you live a clean and orderly life, given to search for truth and to helping people, and realization makes noble virtue easy and spontaneous by removing for good the obstacles in the shape of desires and fears and wrong ideas. Do you have desires and fears anymore? My destiny was to be born a simple man, a commoner, a humble tradesman, with little of formal education. My life was the common kind with common desires and fears. When, through my faith in my teacher and obedience to his words, I realized my true being, I left behind my human nature to look after itself until its destiny is exhausted. Occasionally an old reaction, emotional or mental, happens in the mind, but it is at once noticed and discarded. After all, as long as one is burdened with a person, one is exposed to its idiosyncrasies and habits. Are you not afraid of death? I am dead already. In what sense? I am double dead. Not only am I dead to my body, but to my mind too. Well, you do not look dead at all. That's what you say. You seem to know my state better than I do. Sorry, but I just do not understand. You say you're a bodiless and mindless, while I see you very much alive and articulate. A tremendously complex work is going on all the time in your brain and body. Are you conscious of it? Not at all. Yet for an outsider, all seems to be going on intelligently and purposefully. Why not admit that one's entire personal life may sink largely below the threshold of consciousness, and yet proceed sanely and smoothly? Is it normal? What is normal? Is your life obsessed by desires and fears full of strife and struggle, meaningless and joyless, normal? To be acutely conscious of your body, is it normal? To be torn by feelings, tortured by thoughts, is it normal? A healthy body, a healthy mind live largely unperceived by their owner. Only occasionally, through pain or suffering, they call for attention and insight. Why not extend the same to the entire personal life? One can function rightly, responding well and fully to whatever happens without having to bring it into the focus of awareness. When self-control becomes second nature, awareness shifts its focus to deeper levels of existence and action. Don't you become a robot? What harm is there in making automatic what is habitual and repetitive? It is automatic anyhow. But when it is also chaotic, it causes pain and suffering and calls for attention. The entire purpose of a clean and well-ordered life is to liberate man from the thraldom of chaos and the burden of sorrow. You seem to be in favor of a computerized life. What is wrong with a life which is free from problems? Personality is merely a reflection of the real. Why should not the reflection be true to the original as a matter of course, automatically? Need the person have any designs of his own? The life of which it is an expression will guide it. Once you realize that the person is merely a shadow of reality, but not reality itself, you cease to fret and worry. You agree to be guided from within, and life becomes a journey into the unknown.